Hi everyone, Brendan here, Big Bird here. Trust you're all doing well. Just in my bed, that's why it's a bit noisy, so do forgive me. Just thought I'd create a quick controls slash settings video for the controller. Keep in mind these are just the settings that I use. You don't necessarily have to use every single setting that I use or in every direction. So let's begin. Again, I don't know every single setting, and I don't use every single setting. Some I use more than others, some I don't. This is my aim sensitivity, 50%. My zoom aim sensitivity is 85. Do keep in mind I haven't played this game in a while, so maybe some of the things that I would have changed I haven't changed, or maybe it's too low or too high. So don't take my word on it 100%, but I got asked to make a video on this, so I thought I'd make a quick video. Saddam Ali was his name. He requested that I do this, so if you're watching this, Saddam Ali, hopefully you can take something from this video. Not just him, hopefully there are others out there that are really needing help and or maybe want some advice or want to listen to a video like this. So if you're also there and you want to listen to something like this that Saddam Ali requested, then by all means watch the whole video. So my soldier sprint is toggle, double tap forward to sprint is off, double tap to slide is off, soldier weapon zoom is hold, steady is hold, request slash skip revive. I've put this on toggle, not on hold. I used to have it on hold, but I've changed it over to toggle. Soldier's landing is toggle. Vehicles, okay, now I'm not a vehicle player, so anything that involves vehicles, I'm not going to put my input on it. Obviously, if it's both vehicles and infantry, then I might give my opinion on it, but I'm not a vehicle player. I'm a horrible driver. I don't pretend to act like I'm a good vehicle player, because I'm not. I'm an infantry player only. Anything involving infantry, I can talk about it just fine. Vehicles, someone else that is a lot better than me at vehicles. Silent Falcon, Rudy Roo, Bushmaster, just to name a few. Phoenix for the win. Just some of the players that I know that are really good at vehicles, be it tanks or planes, or sometimes even both. Some players are horrible at planes and others are very good at tanks. Some are good at both. Some are very good at tanks and bad at planes, or I'm pretty sure I already said that. Anyway, so I'm not going to give my input on vehicles. Control schemes, this is purely personal preference. I think I'm just using default on every single one. Don't really feel the need to change it. Aim right left acceleration. Now I have mine set to 50%. Uniform soldier aiming is on. My coefficient is 133. My aiming left right acceleration is 50. Oh, sorry, that's for uniform. That's for vehicle aiming. I'm not going to talk about that. Vehicle controls. Not going to discuss those. Soldier's aim sensitivity. Most of my values are less than 130%, 30% or less. Do keep in mind that 10, 8, 5, 4, 3.5, 2.5 do not count, because there's no zoom setting in this game for an infantry weapon that has these zoom settings, which I find odd. I don't know why they would put them in the game if you can't even change the sensitivity on the zooms, because there's no 10x scope in this game, just like there's no 4x scope. So changing this to 100 or 0 doesn't matter, because it's not going to affect your gameplay. So I just keep it at 100 and I don't touch it. Obviously the main things you want to focus on here are 6, 1, and probably 3. 6, 1 and 3 are the ones you want to focus on the most, because a 3x is used on most guns. You can have it on most weapons. 1 is the most popular, obviously. Every single gun can have a 1x setting, except for bolt actions. They can only go to 1.5. And SLRs and snipers can have a 6x scope. Not everyone uses a 6x scope. Some people don't like it on sniper rifles, some people do. I like them, but that's just me. Vehicle sensitivity, not going to go over that. Soldier aim ratio is 40. Soldier's aim ratio, whatever that second setting is, that's also 40. My vibration is turned off. My dead zone for my left stick and my right stick is 14. Axial dead zone is 15. Maximum input threshold is 60. My L2 dead zone's 1. L2 max threshold is 35, and same for the other end as well. We'll go back out of that. Just go to gameplay. HUD obviously on, but if you're playing a hardcore server, do keep in mind whether it's on or off on your settings, doesn't matter if you're playing a hardcore server, although I'm not a big fan of hardcore. HUD motion, not really sure what that is. Some of these things, even though I've played this game just as much as everyone else, some of these settings I don't understand. Magnified chat isn't really necessary. Play created content, don't really care about that. Infantry when active, kill log. Now, you should always have the kill log on, but some people have it off, and then some people have it on show, but they have it on like everywhere, like all or team. Okay, if it's for self, what's the point? You already know if you've killed someone. Squad, yeah, I mean, it might come in handy, but team, not necessarily all. You want to have it on nearby, so say you see one of your teammates die, you check the kill feed, and you go, oh, this person has a K7, or this person has a P38 handgun, or this person has a M1911 handgun, or this person has a M28 Tromboncino rifle carbine, you know. It just gives you an idea of if they're close, and put the icon and the name, so if you're not quite sure what the gun is, but you remember the icon, or you're not quite sure what the gun looks like, but you remember the name, or vice versa. I remember both. I can look at the gun and go, yep, I know the name and I know the icon, so it's not a huge issue for me, but some people don't recognize names or icons properly, so either one is good. I have it on both. Score log weapon is off. Awards, vehicle seat, critical messages, I have those all on show. Loadout mirroring, I have it on off, just so I can have different factions of different weapons, so I don't have to constantly change everything. I can already have it preset. Crosshair visibility is 100%. Color. Now, color is important. Now, if you're colorblind, I'm not colorblind, fortunately. Thank fuck for that. I'm not colorblind, but I know a lot of people are colorblind. There are lots of people that are colorblind, which is a shame. So just choose a color that is easy for you to see or makes sense. And don't choose super light colors like white, and don't choose super dark colors like black, because it'll make it too hard to see in certain environments. Like if you're in the Pacific maps where it's very bright and it's very white, and you know it's got like a lot of it's very open and the sun, you know, hits your eyes and whatnot, it's very hard to see if you have it as a white reticle. Whereas if you're playing like a map like Devastation or Underground, where it's very dark and very black and very brown, it's very hard to see. So ideally you want to have it on a color that is comfortable for your eyes and is good for your muscle memory and your brain, so that you can recognize patterns better and know where to aim and not have to worry about whether your crosshairs on the enemy or not. So hit indicator, all that color. So I have my colors. I just like green. I'm, like I said, I'm fortunate to not be colorblind, and I've, like most people, you know, pretty good eyes, so I don't really struggle to see colors that much or see things that much, so I can't really complain about my eyesight. Texture opacity is at 50, rotate with view is on, so if I'm turning a corner, the map rotates with me, which is good. It allows you to have a better understanding of where you're going, even if you're an expert on the maps. Doesn't matter if you're the best player ever, it's always important to have it on, just so you know where you're going, because sometimes you just don't concentrate. Sometimes even if you're a really good player and you've played the game a lot, you sometimes lose your train of thought or whatever. Flight zoom radius is 250. Okay, vehicle, that's not really important. I have my minimap size set to maximum, so I get as much information as possible. Now, I know a lot of people, they're not that good with taking in a lot of information. Me, fortunate, I'd like to say I can handle it, so it's not a huge issue for me. Objective opacity, so this is how visible it is to see your UI. I have it at 100%, because there's no compelling reason why I would have it anything less. Obviously, if you don't want too much clutter on the screen, decrease it. Again, it doesn't bother me. Objective opacity, you don't need that too high for a friendly soldier. Enemy opacity you want to have is at 100%. Doja ping, you don't need that too big. Advanced. Camera shake, set that to the lowest. Soldier auto leaning off. Soldier auto pick over. Parachute. Contact based auto givering. character lighting and all that, that's all on. Soldier's aim assist is on, but I only have it at 45%. Some people have it really high at like 80 or 90, and some people have it really low at like 10 or 20. I have mine somewhere in the middle. Now, it's a little bit lower than average, but again, it just depends. Obviously, Soldier's aim assist, I'm having that on 0 because I don't want to be a scrub. Vehicle aim assist, I'm not really sure how aim assist works in vehicles, so someone that is in the comments, if you could tell me how powerful vehicle aim assist is or isn't. I mean, I was talking to Rudy Roo once, and he's probably one of the best tankers that I've ever played with. Extremely good tanker, very talented. He said that vehicle aim assist is broken. That's just his opinion. He knows more than me, so what do I know? I'm not going to talk about that, but if you're a vehicle player and you play just as much as I do, well, play as used as much as I do, then feel free to tell me down below if vehicle aim assist is a huge problem, if you will. Zoom snap for the vehicle 0, reload hint, just have that on, no real reason not to. Hint system, hide. And then you got your performance things, you know, that's fine. Aim indicator show. Audio. Audio. I have my music on. Master volume 100%. Freely. Obviously, everyone's got, you know, earphones or headsets or whatever it is that people like to wear. Just choose whatever's you're comfortable with. I'm choosing 3D headphones just because it feels easier for me to hear better and it's better for my positioning and whatnot. Hint indicators on default, and answer language is English. Obviously, if you don't speak English, or you don't speak very good English, not that I'm the world's best grammar expert by any stretch of the imagination, you can change it, but you can have your in-game and answer voice off, you can change a whole bunch of other settings. I have subtitles on. My text is small, so you can change it to any language, although funny enough, I don't think all the languages work. So for example, say you're playing the Germans, having it set to German doesn't really help you because the game registers you as playing as the German faction, so you're already speaking German. Whereas if you're playing as the Allies, if you're playing as non-Axis speaking factions, so the British and the Americans, they speak English, whereas if you play the Japanese, they speak Japanese, German's German. So if you speak Spanish, or if you speak Polish, or Russian, or Arabic, or French, or Italian, it'll be translated, it'll take over the English bracket on the Allied side, but for the Axis side, I don't think it does. I'm not 100% sure. I did play with the Russian an answer language once or twice, and the Spanish once or twice. It was pretty funny, or at least for an English native speaker like me. So anyway, that's all done. Brightness is at 60. Don't want to have it too bright, but ideally you want to have it slightly more bright than average. Mine's at 60. Field of view is 93. Now the thing with field of view is if the closer you are, so the closer this number is, so the closer it is to 0, the easier it is for you to see at like very immediate close range situations. When I first started playing this game, I think I played at like a 50 field of view or something like that. It was extremely low. But this is good because it allows you to basically see everything at close range. Like someone could be sitting in a bush or sitting on the ground and you would see them because your screen is zoomed in on them more. So sometimes when I'm playing, and I'm playing with my friends who are all used to a higher field of view, I will kill someone that they didn't see, and they're like, oh, how'd you see him? And I'm like, oh, I'm just seeing people go here or go there because I used to play in a low field of view. And obviously, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that playing in a low field of view is the best, because ideally, now I've moved on. A low field of view is better for when you're trying to learn stuff at close range, you're trying to look for things, whereas once you get used to things, it's better to just move on and go to a higher field of view. But in saying that, you don't want your field of view to be too high, because the further they are away, the harder it is to actually physically see something, because your screen is dragging you further away from where you're looking. So you want to be very conscious of what type of field of view you want. Mine's at 91. most people would probably go 91, 92, 93, 90, 89, right around what I'm doing. So just vehicle field of view. Now this is something that is important if you're jumping in a vehicle to help your teammate, or you're getting in a passenger vehicle. This might help you. So I would say you want to have it reasonably high, but again, when you're in a vehicle, if you're already aiming in, and this is something that I can say, is that when you aim in with a gun turret, like in first person, you're zooming in on a target at long range, and then once you've zoomed out, you ideally want to have a low zoom, so that if people are flanking you, you have better visibility. But then again, some would say, well, you want it very big, so that you have a more bigger field of view. But again, that's really just a field of view thing. You know, if you find it harder to see close range targets, lower it. If you find it harder to see mid-range targets, put it somewhere in the middle. Just choose whatever it is that you feel is good for you. My ADS field of view is actually off. Now I can play, believe it or not, I can play with a field of view that's on and off. Now what field of view off does is it's when you aim with your gun, your default field of view will be set to 55 as it is in the settings. So what that does is it narrows your field of view. Now this does not increase recoil. People say, oh, it increases recoil. It does not increase recoil. The gun isn't kicking more or less. It's not kicking any more or less. Same goes for on. When you have a gun, it's not kicking more or less, but what your brain is doing is it's recognizing the fact that there's less visual shake on your screen, and you're seeing more of the screen, so your brain is able to, it's hard to say, what's the word, so that's why when you look at all these YouTubers and you wonder how they get no recoil, they are getting recoil, but it doesn't look like they're getting any because there's no visual shake. And for me, a lot of people go, oh, I don't like that visual shake, so they go straight to on. But for me, even though I don't like the visual shake, I like it having off, because what this does is it keeps my field of view relative to my sights, to the magnification of my weapon sights. So for example, say you're running a 3x and you put it off, it'll stay at a 3x, but if you have a 3x and you put it on, your 3x will no longer be a 3x. It'll be like a, do forgive me, I think it'll be like a 1.8 or a 1.9, so you lose a good portion of your view. Like I said, on reduces that shake and that visual recoil, but off gives you more clarity of the target, and it allows you to see further at a distance, so I prefer to have it off. Again, that's just me. Now if you're finding on really close range maps, you know, Arras, Devastation, Rotterdam, you know, maps that are really close range, you might want to have it on. But if you're playing on a slightly bigger map, maybe like Mercury, maybe what's another map? I'm trying to think of another map. Hamada. Not that everyone, not that people like Hamada, but that's just an example. Pacific Storm, Iwo Jima, you know, something with a bit more openness, a bit more range, you know, you might want to have that off or on, depending on the map you're playing. Motion blurs at 0, ADS, DFO, effects is off. Custom color settings, you do whatever you want to do whatever you want to do with that. Film grain, vignette, lens distortion, all that, that's all off. I don't want to have that crap on my screen. So, I don't really know what else to say, guys. Thank you for watching, I guess, and hopefully this helped out some of you. I doubt it helped out any of you, because except for maybe Saddam Ali, who requested a video. But if it helped you out in some way, if I helped you out with audio or your video or whatever it may be, then be sure to let me know. This will be going on all the main Facebook group pages, so if you happen to see this video, come by, say hi, whether you learned something or not, and I will be sure to keep an eye on the comments, and I respect all opinions, so even if it's not the same as mine or is the same as mine, I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say about your settings and whether you think I'm right or wrong. Before I go, Xavank did a video, so search him up on YouTube. He did an excellent video on, he didn't go into too much depth on settings, he didn't really talk about that too much, but he did talk about aiming, you know, like when you aim your guns and how to move it correctly, how to use the controller correctly, and he recommended that people, you know, try a different controller with a what's that the thumbsticks, the ones that make the thumbsticks bigger. Control Freaks. Yeah, he recommended that people give that a try. Again, I'm not a big fan of those, but go watch his video. He did an excellent video of aiming and positioning where your aim goes. And if my settings don't help you, go and watch his video, because you know he's a 10 times better player than me. I ain't gonna deny that. So go watch his video if you feel a need to watch that after this or before this or whatever. So thanks for watching in any case, and I will catch you all next time.